Hello everyone, a lot of you have requested this, so this video will be an overview of the latest Darkrise update 0.15. This update divides opinion, some people like it, some people don't, so in this video I'll be looking at what the devs have changed, showing you how it looks in game, as well as giving you my opinion as well as some advice. So here we have a list of all the things that the devs have done in this update. This is on the official Darkrise Discord, which you should definitely join. Link will be in the description. But as you can see, they've split the update into 4 parts. General changes, game balance, the crafting system, and bugs and fixes. So we'll be going through each one separately to explain and make things easier to understand. We're going to start with general changes. Now, the first thing the devs have done is they've added a buyback feature, so when you sell solid items like equipment, you can actually buy this back. This is great because before, if you hadn't locked your item and you accidentally sold an item, you would lose that forever. But now, if you realise quickly enough, you can buy this back. Obviously, I would still recommend using the lock feature to protect your items, because I think if you close the game and reopen it, the stuff in the buyback feature disappear. But obviously this is a great step to ensure that players no longer lose their items. The second thing they've done is they've changed the skill system in terms of active skills and skill books. Instead of having a book that corresponds directly to a skill, now the books give you skill points that you can assign to each skill. Obviously, the higher the rarity of the book, the more skills you've got. And I think this is great as well because it allows for newer players and lower level players to upgrade their active skills more easily. Now it's time to look at game balance, the biggest change in the update and the change that has drawn the most attention. The big thing they removed is the general stats. Stamina, dexterity, intelligence and strength were removed from the game. Now this is really interesting because the developers are basically admitting that changing the item structure in update 0.11 didn't work out well. Although adding general stats did try and promote class unity, which should have helped mage, it ultimately didn't help that much. Because they have completely removed general stats, I would advise that you grind and collect new equipment. I'm going to do a video on how I rebuilt my character, so keep an eye out for that. Now, while base damage and health have been increased, they lowered the stats on your equipment. To counter this, they also lowered enemy stats on painful and fatal difficulty. Basically, they nerfed everyone. Now, I understand why people are upset by this. Characters are now weaker than before, which makes your hard work grinding look like it's gone to waste. However, like I said before, changing equipment slowly should help improve your stats quickly. Gems now improve singular stats, so you should change those as well. If you have crystals, you can buy chests with gems at the special shop. Finally, resetting your skill tree is another good idea. Now the last thing they've done in terms of game balance is they've added something called healing spheres. Now these are like small red balls of health that you get when you kill an enemy, and they heal a portion of your health, which is obviously great because instead of using heal wave all the time, you can just use the balls, especially at Fatal Bridge when you're going to obviously be taking more damage. I would still advise that you use heal wave because heal wave is more reliable and also it heals you continuously over a period of time. The next part of the update is the crafting system, which has actually changed a lot. The first thing we're going to be looking at is the UI changes. Now, if you want to craft an item, you have to go into the recipe book, find the item that you want to craft, select the recipe, and the ingredients will show up in the slots. You then get your ingredients, put them in the specific slots before you hit craft. Now I understand that this makes the whole crafting system more clearer and easier to follow, but I don't like this change at all because now if you want to craft something, you have to put the ingredients in the specific slots, which is really boring and really long. Also, if you want to craft another recipe, you have to go back to the recipe book, find the recipe that you want, the item that you want, and select it, and do this again and again and again every single time you want to change or you want to craft something new. which I think is really restrictive and obviously really long. The devs remove refined resources like leather and cloth. However, if you have them, don't worry, because you can turn them back into their pure form using the crafting system. Energies now spawn at the same rate and have the same value as other resources, which is nice because it means they'll hopefully spawn more often. Speaking of resources spawning more often, they now spawn at Bridge of Stagnation after you kill all the enemies, which I think is great. Crafting in general takes less resources, which again is a good thing because it means that you should be able to craft more with less. However, the big change with crafting is the fact that you can no longer increase the rarity of a single item. Instead, you can combine 3 items of the same type and rarity to create a new one with random stats from the old item. This is a huge change because it means that you can effectively create your own items with custom stats. This gives you more options when building your character, which is obviously great. Finally, the last part we're going to be looking at is the bug fixes. Now this is usually unimportant because the developers fix bugs all the time. However, there is one fix that I want to talk about. Now you might have realised that a lot of your stats on your items went from yellow to white. I would say that over half of mine did this. According to the developers, this is because stats were incorrectly marked as high stats and therefore yellow, so they had to change this. So in conclusion, I would say that this is arguably the biggest update since 0.11. There's definitely a lot to take advantage of to improve your character, especially with the new crafting system and gems. If there's anything that I've missed, let me know in the comments below. With that said, thank you for watching and I'll see you in future videos.